My mom told me not to talk to strangers on the internet, but I'm glad I didn't listen. We are the Certified Nunas, your sisters in the love of Asian entertainment.
Hi, I'm Amanda.
I'm Jessie.
I'm Natalia.
And I'm Sky.
And it's April, and despite the fact that this week it snowed here, the thing that April, and here I mean in Canada where I am, the thing about April is, there's a little thing, April showers bring May flowers, that sort of thing, that old chestnut. But you know what you need when it's raining out? You need an umbrella. And you know what? Umbrellas and like rain have become a bit of a delightful little trope in the K-drama world. What's better than you're walking through the rain sad and all of a sudden that handsome man comes and holds the umbrella over you. Oh, it's a classic.
When you first get into the Asian dramas, you're like you start getting caught in the rain and you're like, where's my dude with the umbrella? Like, come on, like it's frustrating.
We should all be so lucky to have randomly hold out an umbrella for us, but alas, this is one of those things that only really exists in fiction.
Well, I mean, it gets to the point, it's not that you really want a leading man, you really just want, like, a cabana boy for your umbrella holding, essentially.
That's true. Like,
you just want someone to materialize whenever you need an umbrella.
Yeah.
That's what you really want in life.
An umbrella genie. Like, just...
the dream is alive. It's like, listen, we don't need men. What we need are robots to hold things for us.
You're right. And a robot that would be pretty much willing to like, oh, you don't have an umbrella? Well, they're going to go buy one. It's like, cool. Go do that for me.
And that's what they always do in dramas.
I know.
Yeah. They always are buying new umbrellas. Always.
What I love about it is like, is getting wet that bad? Like, you can just run to the
because you'll die.
station.
You'll get a cold and then you'll die.
Get a cold, and then you'll have to go to the hospital to get an IV. Right. That has, like, listen, I have an immune disorder and I get sick a lot, but, like, because I got wet in the rain for a few minutes, I don't think has ever been the contributing factor to, like, me being hung up sick.
I think most people, that's the like thing. Unless you're like out in the wilderness exposed, that's the only time it actually works. If you're like in downtown, like it's never going to be your fault.
Yeah, you get home and you take off your wet clothes and maybe take a shower if you're cold.
Your
and
death
that's it.
is going to be by a truck hitting you.
Yeah, well,
that's
a whole other trope.
But that's like a trope that transcends K-dramas. That's what like your like main like
the truck of doom is
main thing that's gonna hurt you during a rainstorm is cars.
The truck. Right.
But I do really enjoy that in dramas, like, as soon as you see those clouds gathering in the sky, you're like, oh, here it comes!
Umbrella time. Umbrella time, or if they skip the umbrella time, it is, oh, they need somebody to get sick. Like, that is what...
Yeah, those are the options,
or to, like,
right?
Or to, like, be like, under, like, the awnings of, like, a convenience store, and they all have to, like, huddle and, like, look out, and it's, like, a romantic, like, you got
I was gonna say, I appreciate that nuance when they finally use awnings and things to stand under, because like a lot of the umbrella time it's like, or you could just go find shelter, like that is another option.
You could just like stop into the Starbucks and grab a coffee and wait for the rain to let up a bit, but like, you do you.
It's nice when they take that as the opportunity to do the really close, like, oh, we've got to like press together to get under the eaves or whatever, and you're like, okay, I mean, sure.
But there always seems like, I'm pretty sure there's enough room for both of you to just...
Maybe side by side would probably protect you better, but okay.
This seems like a, it's a stretch. It's a stretch for dudes. But we today wanted to just talk about a few dramas that have some pretty nice little umbrella scenes that we enjoy. And, just sort of have like a chill talk about umbrellas and rain. And, spring stuff. Just, I know this seems like a really out there concept. Like, stick with us. Like,
But it is a major trope. Like we
It is a
wouldn't
major
have picked
trope.
it if it
It's a
wasn't.
huge trope.
It's a
So
thing.
huge.
and I think it's like a huge trope because umbrellas are so accessible and rain is something that happens to everyone, so you're sort of hoping that the viewer can like be like, oh, yes, I remember that time I was stuck in the rain. I wish that some hot lad or lass had, or, you know, non-binary pal had, you know, held a nice umbrella up for me. Like, I get it.
Well,
You know,
it's definitely used as the way to get the skinship without it actually being skinship.
Yes.
And then
Mhm.
also, it's like symbolically, it's someone protecting you. The person
Yeah.
who's
Mhm.
holding the umbrella is protecting the other person. And so that transcends into film in every
Yeah.
respect, not just in Asian
Absolutely.
culture, a lot easier.
it's a lot of
in
metaphor.
Asian, when I was looking into it, umbrellas are a big symbol in Buddhism, like the concept of protection, that they symbolize protection, and like the handle going up straight is like a symbol of connecting to the heavens or something, and like just so enlightenment. So usually the person who has an umbrella is also like, they're the smart one because they brought an umbrella. Like, you know, like they were prepared.
Right
And
now.
like it was interesting, like seeing that it's like it protects you from illness and obstacles, but also that it's a protection from the elements is always seen as being something that is for the wealthy. So it's like a symbolism, because traditionally protection from the elements was not something that poor people could afford. So
Yeah.
it's sort of like a big symbol outside of drama. Like there's a whole museum in China. It's like just for the art and symbolism and history of museums.
Oh, because like painted
that's
silk
probably
umbrellas,
gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Well, and so I did want to say sun umbrellas are a big thing that they use as well. We don't see that as much over here in the West, but I've actually seen a lot of students from Asian countries use them too. But like, definitely you see it, and as far as definitely the art, the very pretty ones too for more formal occasions, they're usually red and things like that. But even sun umbrellas, they use which like. Yeah. Shout out to sun umbrellas. I sometimes do that too. So that's
they're smart, right? They have protection from the sun without any layers if it's really hot. So bonus. You make your own shade. Delightful.
Golf umbrellas. We got them here too.
Oh, it's true. It's true.
I'm telling you, I used to be a dog walker in college, and it was raining one day, and I was walking this Great Dane, and she was terrified of rain, which I think is hilarious. But the person I worked for was like, oh yeah, just like if you need an umbrella, they're just there. And I grabbed one, and this was the biggest umbrella I have ever seen. Like, the thing was massive. It was unbelievable. I was like, where did you get this? Like, I want this. It was like a 5-person umbrella. I was like, good lord.
A 5-person umbrella or a 1-person, one Great Dane umbrella.
Yeah. Literally, this Great Dane did not want to go out into the rain so bad that I had to pick her up and carry her, like, off of the front step.
Oh, golly.
And I was like, Sadie, come on. Come on, man.
Oh.
I can kick us off with one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I gotta say, my idea is Gangnam Beauty, because they use it as a big turning point. Like, they have a big serious conversation under an umbrella, and then so it's the umbrella rain thing shows up a couple different times, and it's a big deal even with the plot. So it's not like something that just was a moment, and it took them a long time to film it. I think he got sick doing that, but
proof.
Yeah, because it took however many hours to do it.
That's a difference.
And I think it might have been the winter. I don't even remember. It was forever ago now. But yeah. And it was a good part of the plot. It did feel it was integrated very well and stuff, but it was definitely a one umbrella, have a serious talk situation.
one I was thinking of, where not only is like the umbrella scene and like rain and stuff, just like, you know, scenes in it, but also the umbrella is like a character in itself, is the drama She Was Pretty, where there's like a painting that both of them love, and he buys an umbrella that when you open it, the inside of the umbrella is the painting.
Oh,
and that's how, yeah. And anyway, it like comes back all the time because, like, you know, my issues with that drama aside, so them being in the rain and like the umbrella, it goes both ways. Like, he'll have the umbrella over her, but then he's terrified of rainstorms, and so she like becomes the umbrella metaphorically, like, anyway. But it's a really nice umbrella. Like, I was like, ooh.
I like it when they have a pretty umbrella for the, you know, for the symbolic umbrella scenes.
Yeah, like,
You know.
some of them are nicer than others. But the umbrella, like, comes back often in that one. So they really relied heavily on the symbolism of the umbrella, and She Was Pretty. Not so much, I don't know if in the Chinese version they did, but in the Korean version for sure, yes.
So one of my favorite dramas is Just Between Lovers, aka Rain or Shine. And there are some scenes with an umbrella, and it's like actually mostly kind of as a protector role, because in the drama Junho's character is protecting the female leads like all the time in very different scenarios. And so one of the like scenarios they do have is the umbrella, and having the umbrella, and then also she's like holding it for him as well, and so that's a big thing. I just want to give also a shout out on like another drama. It's not a K-drama, How I Met Your Mother.
Yes.
That big umbrella.
The umbrella is a character in that as well. The
Because I
yellow
could
one,
not
red.
like try to like figure out any of these like dramas without like thinking about like How I Met Your Mother and that yellow umbrella all the time.
Yep. For me, one of the more recent ones was How to Be 30, which just ended this past week, I think. And it had a couple of scenes, umbrella scenes, and it used it like close to the beginning. It almost kind of bookended. So you kind of had the umbrella scene at the beginning to do kind of the big romantic reveal, protector kind of moment. And then that same umbrella with that same guy closer to the end, but it went a completely different way, and it was a totally different scenario and a different situation. And I'm not sure that the umbrella thing was as obvious perhaps as it, like other people watching it might not have caught that the same way as I did watching it prepping for this episode and being like, oh, umbrellas. But yeah, to me, I was like, oh, they're bookending. Like, they're doing that intentionally with this character. And so I thought that was pretty cool.
So I got another one. You Are My Hero. It's a C-drama. And the umbrella thing comes up a little bit, but the reason I want to bring it up for this drama is, main characters aside, there's a bumbling second male lead who is just very naive when it comes to dating. He doesn't know how to woo a girl at all. So the girl's been chasing him a ton. Anyway, the main couple eventually is trying to like yell some sense into him to teach him how to like woo her to finally be in a relationship. So it was raining. He had messed up with this girl, and they're like, okay, go get an umbrella and meet her at her work. Go do that now. Go.
Romantic gesture. Nice.
So, because he's an idiot, he goes and buys 2 umbrellas and comes back to the cafe where the main couple is, and they're like, no, put one umbrella away, take the one. And he's like, okay. So he goes, and again, he messes it up. He doesn't like stand beside her. Pretty much like, she walks in front of him and he holds it, hovers it over her, and he's just like every step of this entire situation. And so eventually that second couple comes back to the main couple at this cafe. He's drenched. She is just mad again because like he literally knows how to do nothing. He can't even romantically hold an umbrella. So it's just this whole funny thing of using an umbrella very poorly, essentially. So they did use an umbrella a few other times with the main couple, and it was cute or sad. There was kind of various things. But the reason I brought it up for this drama is that whole comedic proving that he literally couldn't just like use an umbrella like a normal person trying to get a girlfriend. Like he really couldn't figure it out. And so then even after the second couple left and the main couple was kind of talking about all that and how it was funny, it was obvious the guy had kind of learned a little bit. And she goes, yeah, he kind of learned better than his master, the buddy. And the main guy is like, oh, you want me to like hold the umbrella over you like he did, like behind you and stuff? She's like, yeah, that's what I want.
Yeah, that's what all women want, really. Like, that's yeah. Another one that I'm thinking of is I Am Not a Robot.
Yes.
It has, because not only is there like a cute umbrella scene, the umbrella is also like funky tech umbrella. So it like it has like, you know, funky electronics that like make it private or show you the stars and stuff. It's very cute. There's also like rain scenes and stuff, and that's actually, I'm just gonna say it, I really love that drama. Like,
yeah,
it's cute.
like,
Yeah, it's super
something
cute
about it that just like it makes your heart feel happy by the end of it. But like, yeah, I love that drama. If you haven't seen it, it's good. It's it's like surprisingly good when you actually like read when you read the synopsis of it. You're like, oh, this is gonna be a hot mess, and then you watch it and you're like, oh no.
That's so cute.
This is good. And you know, like, what's sort of interesting about it is that, you know, minor spoiler alert, he doesn't actually think he's being romantic at the time, but he's very romantic at the time. Yeah. And I even just thinking about it, like when I was like, okay, time to think about, you know, umbrella scenes, and all I could think was like, I'm not a robot. I'm not a robot.
Yeah.
So that one's really good. I really love that show. Like, if you haven't watched it yet, you should give it a chance. Give it a chance. I think.
And give it a few episodes. I don't know.
Yeah.
It took a bit to heat up for me. I don't know why. It's not that I disliked it. It just took me a bit to get hooked. But like, and I love it to pieces now.
I think when it was airing, I was like, I don't know. I think I'm gonna drop this. But everybody else loved it so much. I was like, I'm gonna stick with it. And then I was glad I did because it was cute and it was fun.
It has a bit of like a lead up, but then once like it starts going, like you're just like, oh no, like it's one of those like. I don't know what an expression is. It's like, you know how they say, like, you know, you can't look away from, like, a train wreck? But it's sort of like that, but, like, in a good way. Like, at first you're just, like, chugging along, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, shit. And you're like, oh, no, oh, yes, oh, God.
It's, like, engaging and endearing, and it doesn't, like, it's a rom-com, but doesn't actually, like,
feel like
lean into the rom-com.
Yeah.
What I remember, it was so funny, when I watched that when it was airing, and I remember both Drama Fever and Vicky had it. So sometimes one or the other would have the subs up faster. And so it was always like watching like on different platforms to like catch up with the drama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good old days.
Good times.
Oh, back in the classics.
So I'm not gonna lie, we're running out of like dramas that I can remember umbrella scenes in, because I Am Not a Robot, and I also had my ID on my list, and so but like there are some that I like remember having dramas, and then this is partly because umbrellas are really big in like rom-coms and romances, and since I don't really fall into that category, there's some but not a lot. This is a drama that I wouldn't say is my favorite, but I do think it has an audience for the right person, and it's Something in the Rain, aka Pretty Nunu Who Buys Me Food. And that one, there's strong presence of umbrellas. I mean, it's even in like posters for the show. And there are a couple of major scenes that happen that I'm actually not going to talk about because it would be a spoiler with the umbrella. But that's definitely a drama that has that kind of and actually does kind of go with like what the actual representation of the umbrella is. There are parts that are hard of that drama, but I think like there's some good parts of that
There's
drama.
some really good stuff
like,
in it too.
Let's be honest about that drama too. The chemistry between the main leads is
yeah, they're great.
so good.
Off the charts.
Like,
I would say like I think the best way you can go into that drama is to not look at her like an annoying person. Look at her as someone who has severely been emotionally abused her entire life. And if you like look at her, the main character in that respect, I think you'll understand everything that she does and how she responds to everything a lot better. And I don't think that was like it's one of those things that I don't think a lot of people picked up on, especially because it was such, I remember so many people wanted to see that so badly, and it was one of those like Netflix had got it and they weren't pushing it out until after the show had been completed. And then so it was like a disappointment for a lot, and I think that kind of clouded like the figuring out what it is. But if you I think if you go into that drama knowing that, I think you'll understand everything that happens a lot better. And
I think it's hard to watch because you see the abuse, and it's difficult to watch in that.
It's like a little too real, you know?
And I will say that's like probably like, this is not umbrella related, but like that's my like biggest qualm about the thing is I do think the mother is actually too bad. That it's so unbelievable that she hasn't killed anybody yet. And when you get into that, and not in a joking manner, I like she's like a psychopath and she should have killed someone to justify her character. And so I think in that regard, poorly written character, but you do understand the issues that are going on.
Definitely some dramas you have to kind of have a little bit of framework to like a perspective framework before going into it to embrace things, maybe not correctly, but as far as, you know,
perhaps
not misinterpret or
don't go into it thinking it's a rom-com,
right?
Like recognizing that it's not.
I think it's more of like, don't go into it placing your own self onto the character and acknowledging that this is definitely going to be a character that you probably will never be able to fully understand because you're not in that spot, and a lot of people won't be, but just kind of like being accepting of that, I think. I think it does have some good parts in it,
has
too.
some really good
like
stuff
really
in
like
it.
some of the stuff in it.
I do think dramas that if there's a main character where they're very different than the average Jane possibly watching the show, you kind of have to know, like, going in, the framework's different, this character is probably different from you, like that's a major thing to know.
But I think it's also like important to like watch shows that are about stories that are very unrelated to your own you know, experience, because then I think it really helps with sort of empathy towards other people, like, you know, which is why I always get this always annoyed me. This is like related to this it'll make sense once I get to the end. So I remember when Breaking Bad was on TV and everyone loved Breaking Bad, but they all hated the woman who played the main dude's wife. Right? They hated that character. They were like, oh, she's so annoying and all this. And I'm like, she has to deal with her husband being a murderous meth dealer, and you're upset that she's like asking where the money came from? I feel like it's this sort of thing that I'm just like, you know, seeing people in different situations, you sort of learn more empathy towards how people in your real life act. And then you can, you know, I don't know why we're going so deep into this, but this happens.
Well, we always have Nuna teaching moments. This is a Nuna teaching
teachable moments, like, you know. And you know what? And they said that watching TV would never be good for your brain.
Well, honestly, studies have been done, not about TV specifically, but definitely about reading. It's the same thing. It increases your emotional intelligence. Stories do that, especially if, and definitely reading more diverse and you know, things that are different from us, or people that have been victims of certain things that we have not. Like, that's actually very important for us to try to understand other people that do exist. Maybe not in our tiny world, but they do exist.
Which I think is like what's so great that, we're really into, sort of Asian entertainment, because I feel like that opens up a whole other subsection of like a whole other section of, cultural differences that we might not be familiar with, that now, from all these years that we've spent, enjoying their entertainment is none of it seems foreign, there's none of that otherness to it anymore. So,
yeah.
Who would have thought? Something in the Rain, bringing out the discussions going on.
One of the ones that pops into my head when I think of umbrella scenes, partially because it was in the credits and like all the promo for it, and is the Thai drama 2 Moons, which is short and cute and whatever. It's easy. It's silly at times, but there's a big scene in that of like him bringing an umbrella and then like slipping, and it's the slip and catch moment as well as the umbrella,
So it's like a hybrid trope moment.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, it's cute because it's like, it's the short one bringing the umbrella. Like, he notices that it's raining, and like he knows this guy is at school late and he'll be coming home, and like, so he goes down, and like they live in the same building, and he sits in the like foyer of the building with an umbrella. But then he kind of like chickens out a little bit. Like, he goes out to like bring him the umbrella, but then he kind of chickens out. Like, there's no good reason why he should be bringing this guy an umbrella, because like the younger guy knows that like this is the guy he had a crush on in high school, but the older guy doesn't know he's that guy because he's had a bit of a glow up, so he doesn't recognize him as that guy. So he's like, there's no good reason why I would be bringing this guy an umbrella. Like, I'm just a stranger who lives in his building kind of thing. So he kind of chickens out and is like, I'm sick and I'm going to the pharmacy or whatever. And then he like tries to run off, and he slips and falls and gets caught, and
and the guy's like, oh, I'll take you to the pharmacy.
Yeah.
Like,
so then there's a sweet,
like,
walking in the rain moment and everything. But it's kind of cute because it's a little reverse too, in that it's not the protector who's doing the protecting in as far as the umbrella goes. Like, it's
the little short dude.
It's the little one, the short one, the younger one. And later, mostly in the drama, it goes the other way, right? It's like the other guy's buying him food and looking after him and taking care of him and stuff. But in that moment, it's this like thoughtful, he tries. Yeah. He fails a little bit, but still, it's cute.
I'll just kind of do my like last couple, because like these are actually kind of related, but not in an official way. I'll explain. So Goblin.
Yes.
It's kind of more, I'm going to be real, it's a cinematic thing in my opinion, more than anything else. And they
looked cool.
They repeatedly use it for cinematic reasons, but it's pretty. I mean, but for instance, a candle is more symbolic and more important. There's a lot more to all that stuff. So the umbrella isn't special necessarily, it's just pretty.
Tale of the Nine-Tailed too. Like, I don't feel like the umbrella wasn't particularly important, but it was real pretty, and it looked real pretty.
Yeah.
So, somewhat related to Goblin is the recent web drama Scripting Your Destiny, which is about fate gods. So not quite goblins, but like kind of related, really. And you can tell that aspects of it are modeled after Goblin. So definitely the umbrella thing shows up, because there's also a part where they walk through a tunnel, and it's like they're just trying to do Goblin stuff. Like, that was just really obvious. But then the first time I saw the umbrella thing in the web series, I was like, oh, they just tried to pull a Goblin to make it pretty or whatever. But they actually kept using the umbrella thing as, and I don't want to ruin it, but like it showed up a lot. Like later on, it became kind of a thing they were kind of fated to do this thing over and over again. So it is actually kind of more of a tool in the web series Scripting Your Destiny, which it's short. If you're into Goblin, you're probably gonna like at least halfway maybe enjoy Scripting Your Destiny. So, but I will say, this is what I will say: if you are someone that is upset by like the age difference of a god-like being and a non-god-like being, that is a pretty universal thing for supernatural type stories. So it is still a thing. Then so.
No.
Be aware.
I have a couple more here that I'll just go through. One was High School Love On. So it's not high school, but it's like high, H-I.
Yes.
Exclamation point, School Love On. Has a very cute sort of like reversal of the umbrella trope where the main character is this girl who like was, I forget if she was like a guardian angel or something, but she comes to Earth and she has no memories. And so she's like entranced by everything. And then there's these two guys who like take care of her. And so it's raining and this one guy stops at the convenience store and buys an umbrella for himself. And then she's standing outside the convenience store and then he's holding up the umbrella and she like steps underneath it. And then he's like, who the hell are you? And like he like moves the umbrella and she just keeps following the umbrella as he and then finally he like grabs her shirt and like pushes her away. He's like, no, I don't know you. So that one was really cute, and I always think of that because it's a cute little scene.
Kind of a fish out of water type. Ooh,
yeah.
Umbrella.
Yeah, like she was just like, oh, like what's this? It's a really cute little show. Like it's one of those shows where you're just like, okay, this is just supposed to be cute, and like the age like seems like it's for like 14 and 15-year-olds to enjoy, like that sort of, you know, show. Like very cute, very sweet, nothing too over the top on it, like, so pretty good. And the other one that I can think of, because I personally believe that this show, especially this scene, also suffers from some really bad mistranslation, is the show Oh My Venus, where like the first time he realizes that he's like in love with her and decides to make his intentions known is under an umbrella, where he kisses her under an umbrella. And this is where the spoiler alert comes in. So he's her personal trainer, right? And like he's helping her lose weight. There's a whole thing about it. And he liked her before she lost weight. I just need to, like, point this out. That, like, it wasn't like, oh, she's hot now and now you have to like her. Which I think was, like, a misconception about what a lot of people had about the show. Which wasn't really the case. And really the show wasn't about... her losing weight wasn't what she needed to do, really. It was just she needed a new outlook on her worth as a person. Basically. But in this scene where he does... what it said is, so she had promised him that she would let him run everything in her life as like her personal trainer. So in the scene, it's translated as, your body belongs to me, so you can't say no. But I don't think that's what he actually said, because that was like real rapey. Like, and I was watching it with my mom, and even my mom was like, that can't be what he said. Like, that wouldn't make any sense for, like, his character as a person. I was like, yeah. So I think it does suffer from a bit of a mistranslation. But if you assume it's a mistranslation, the scene is very cute, and then has a very nice kiss. So if you're into that sort of thing...
It is one of those times, like, the weight of the words in Korean were probably markedly different.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like, when that translation, like, comes out real...
Not cool. Well, and then
Real
actually,
criminal.
that phrase, like, I think it comes up one other time in the show, too, kind of later on. And then, again, it was kind of like it was a joke at that point. Because it was harkening back to when he first said it or something, when he was making his intentions known. To where it's very obvious he wasn't really implying anything by
No. not at all. So then because like his character is not that kind of guy, right? Like he's not one who's gonna take advantage of women in any way. So you're just like, wait, what? What did they just translate that as? I feel like it was one of those things where, like, probably if you translated it word for word, that is what it said. But if you contextually translate it, it would probably mean something different colloquially.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
anyway, that's a little off-putting, but when you realize that's
The
not
show itself
at
is
all
so
the
cute.
vibe. Like, the show is not that kind of show, okay? We're not watching History 4 here. Like, it's not that kind of show.
I did think of a couple, like it jogged my
Yeah.
memory when we were like, going through things. The first one is actually like kind of a different one. Actually, both of these will be a little bit different than what we've been talking about. The first one is from When the Weather is Fine, and there's a rain scene, and it is actually between Park Min Young's character and the other female character who she was friends with in school. And it's like a very defining moment because she's like the new girl in the school, and you find out why she's potentially, offstandish and whatever. There is a point when she's about to leave to go back home, and she has to walk home, and it's raining. And so the girl who has been kind of like being more friendly to her is one of like the rich popular girls. She like runs back and gives her umbrella and then runs away in the rain with just like her backpack on her head. And so it's a very like defining moment for her. It's kind of like when they first officially become good friends. So it's like a very pivotal like memory for her. And then also they show this in Mouse, but they also show this in other crime dramas like this. Umbrellas are used kind of not intentionally, but because like there is the kind of trope of the scene of like the capture of someone while it's raining and dark, and so it's always like the lone person with an umbrella. And you see this in Mouse in like the first episode or second episode where the perpetrator grabs the person who is in the umbrella. And I think that's like, you see that a lot in a lot of like kind of crime dramas or like serial killer focused dramas, just because it does the rain itself is technically what the trope is, because it's rain and dark and dreary, and it's like secluded and it's kind of creating this like shield for the killer to kind of attack its victim. But when you kind of see like the lone person in rain in the dark, you're like, oh
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that umbrella is gonna be on the ground here in like 0.2
usually,
seconds.
usually it's like the scene you just see it drop in the rain, or like someone comes up and like looks down and sees the umbrella and picks it up and looks around and it's like, huh,
Free umbrella. Yeah.
You're like, ooh, they did. Ooh, they did. Never seen them again.
It's kind of like when there's like a nice father-esque figure to some like tortured main character. Like, oh, that father-esque figure smiles a lot. He's not long for this world. Like, it's just not going to be a thing.
He's either going to die or he's going to turn out to be horribly evil, and you just didn't realize it, right? Like, there's no in between. There's no surviving this if you're good. Like, yeah.
It's one of those things, man. It's just one of those things.
Well, I think along those lines too, that's one of the tropes with the umbrella scenes too, is the like, and it goes both ways. Like in the rom-coms, it's the one where it's like the umbrella gets opened and you see the umbrella get open, but you don't know who's behind it until they raise the umbrella, and it's all slow-mo and a halo and pretty. And then it goes the same, like they do use that trope in the crime dramas too, but it's like not a nice looking person, it's like the umbrella goes up and it's the killer, but does the person seeing it know it's the killer? Like,
Yeah, it's like the umbrellas are used as a curtain, because almost in like the reveal of like the person or the like person being transformed, like it's looking very pretty. That's like kind of how you do like those like standard scenes where like the dorky looking girl gets like dressed up and like goes to the field.
Yeah.
instead of it being like, you know, at like a mall where she comes out of the dressing room, like if it's like, you know, a historical, it's like a actual umbrella.
Yeah,
it's like oh,
the historical she's all that, as it were.
Yes.
We continue to continuously to date ourselves with our references.
I mean, at this point, if you don't know that, like, when we say we're old, we're actually old. We're not one of those people that are like, I'm old and I'm 26. And you're like,
no, I wish. No,
no.
The old.
Legitimately old.
One of the ones that just came to my mind when Jesse was talking crime dramas was While You Were Sleeping, because umbrellas are a big deal in that. Like, not so much throughout, although they pop up here and there, but like the big final, you know, it's a law drama and crime drama, and the big final court case hinges a lot on umbrellas, and in kind of an interesting way. So that one's kind of cool, and it's a good drama. It's a fun one to watch. So one of the other ones, one of my first dramas was Love Rain, and it has a really sort of iconic yellow umbrella scene thing going on in that. I love Love Rain. Like, I don't, because it's not that good in parts, but it's too long. I'm just gonna say that. It's too long. Too many episodes. But those first 4 episodes that are set back in the 70s or whatever it is, I love those 4 episodes so much. So they're so aesthetically pleasing. Like, they're just warm and slow, and I like it. I like it a lot. But it's sort of like a mellow and a rom-com, and it's like a mellow for the first 4 episodes, and then like a romantic mellow, and then you move into the future, present, you know, whatever, and then it becomes more of a rom-com. But like, whenever the parents from that first 4 episodes are around, it's a mellow again. It's kind of weird. It's like the parents' story is a mellow and the kids' story is a rom-com. So it's kind of a little odd, but it's very enjoyable, and it was very, very, very popular. So
it is very popular.
Yeah. What else? Oh, Legend of the Blue Sea. It's kind of a useful protection kind of thing, because, you know, she's a mermaid. If she gets wet, there's problems. So like, yeah, so you kind of get that umbrella thing, and like
there's the same sort of scene in Surplus Princess too, where it's like the umbrella, you know, oh, like if she gets splashed with water, she'll turn back into a mermaid and her secret will be revealed. I really love Surplus Princess. Like, it's only 12 episodes, and it has Kim Sul-gi in it, our girl. It has, you know, Applebud in it, Song Jae-rim. And they actually make a joke about his apple butt, like, as part of the show. It's like everyone knows that's his nickname. But if you can find it, I don't know, I'm gonna be honest, I don't even know if it's available anywhere anymore.
I feel like it was on Drama Fever.
I feel like it was on Drama Fever as well, but if you do get the opportunity to watch it, you should, because it is very sweet, a little nonsensical, but in like a really enjoyable sort of way. Yeah.
The other one I was thinking about was It's Okay to Not Be Okay, because they sort of used umbrellas a little bit as like, because the one character was always looking after people, and like sort of he would hold the umbrella for people, or his mom would hold the umbrella for his brother because he needed more taken care of, or you know, and then sort of when she comes into their lives, that's a way that she can kind of show that she's trying not to be selfish, is by like using the umbrella on him, like, okay, you look after your brother and I'll look after you, like, and so
there's actually one more I can think of, but it uses umbrellas in a slightly different way than stated, and that would be Hwayugi, or Korean Odyssey as it's called on where her umbrella is actually like a weapon, sort of like an anti-supernatural.
Oh yeah.
Like she uses it in her exorcisms, as it were. So that's always fun. That's more, like I feel like that's sort of, semi-similar to like your, Legend of the Nine-Tailed, like dual purpose umbrella.
Yeah.
And every time I see that, I always just think of the Penguin from Batman. But it's like not the same vibe at all. But that's like what comes to my mind. Oh gosh, like I'm talking like the classic, like 60s Batman, where it would just be totally ridiculous. It's always a good time. Sky, I think you thought of a couple music videos.
I know that there are actually a lot of K-pop music videos that use, of course, rain and umbrellas and stuff. But I had 3 off the top of my head. The third one, if I come up with it before the episode is published, it will be shared then, because I have now spaced on it. Part of the reason I wanted to have this tiny segment was because just a couple of my favorite songs just happen to have umbrellas in the music videos, and they're very pretty choreographies using the umbrellas. It's not like just, yay, here's an umbrella. The choreography actually uses them, so it's really neat. So, Easy, Y-E-Z-I, I'm probably saying it kind of wrong. Her song Home, the choreography with the umbrellas is really cool. And I love that song. Such a good song. And even when they did stage performances of it, because it was during a time that I was watching a comeback of Who Knows Who, one of my people. So I actually watched her perform it during that time, and they still use the umbrellas on stage as well.
Ooh.
K&K, the song Rain. Imagine that.
What?
And I think I think also it wasn't just a music video thing. It was the choreography on the stage with umbrellas again. And I've seen some other choreographies where it's like, you have umbrellas for a moment and then again, put to the side. But these, a lot of spinning with them and stuff and using to cover up like the main people and things. So it's really, I just really recommend those music videos, and we'll make sure to share them. And so I was opening the floor for if anyone else happened to have any favorite umbrella songs or rain songs or
this isn't even K-pop, but anytime I think of like umbrella stuff, all I can think is Tom Holland performing as umbrella on Lip Sync Battle and how incredibly amazing it is. And it's not K-pop related at all, but like literally I'm like, okay, let's think of good songs with umbrellas, and all I can see is just Tom Holland. He's in the back of my mind in that wig and the
on the non K-pop front, Singing in the Rain is one of my absolute favorite movies of all time. For sure. So I might have Jesse shared that little bit as well, because if you haven't seen, maybe if you have not seen that part of that movie, you really should.
Yeah.
Because you should. It's really cool.
Because it's good. Yeah. And musicals are fun, okay?
Some of them can have boring moments when they're like a 3-hour-long thing.
Well, yes.
Some of them are less fun. Like in high school, we traveled to see, oh my goodness, I can't remember what the name of it is, but it's like about I want to say the Vietnamese War.
Saigon?
Yes, I think so. And it was depressing. It was not fun.
Well, or like
we left and we were like, oh, that was not fun.
You're like, I just wanted a good afternoon of songs and dancing, not this.
That's like one of my favorite musicals.
It was gorgeous and it was well done, but I think when they were advertising it for the theater, it was a lot of the song and dance numbers, and there are some like more upbeat kind of dance numbers and stuff, and I think they used those a lot, and we were young and kind of dumb and mostly just went to see stuff like Joseph and Phantom of the Opera, so like we went and we were just expecting it to be fun and like, yes, it's about war, but it's gonna, there'll be like a happily ever after and a whole, and we were just like, we're like, we need ice cream now and chocolate, because like, oh my god, they don't appear to have videos for them, but this group Rad Museum has a song called Dancing in the Rain, and also a song that I really like called Wet Umbrella. So unfortunately, I've looked, there is a performance video on YouTube of Wet Umbrella, but it's just him singing into a microphone. There's no umbrellas in the choreo. There's no choreo. So but it's a good song. So
I have a couple.
Go, Jesse, go.
So Ladies Code has a song called The Rain. I don't remember off the top of my head if the umbrella is in their choreo, but the girls has like a bunch of different types of umbrellas, and so you see it multiple. Like there's one time that the umbrella is a completely like floral umbrella, and then one time it's black and that sort of thing, and it's called The Rain, so it's got a lot of water stuff. Also, Dramarama, Monster X. Hyungwon as the time traveler, he like has the umbrella and then also kind of goes into other music videos.
I love that music video so much.
It's so good.
Like it's a drama by itself.
Yeah, it
There's
really
a whole
is.
story.
That is not I mean, like you can listen to it fine. It's a great song, but like if you haven't watched the music video, you haven't actually experienced it.
Yeah.
So there's that. And then Nikun from 2PM, he has an umbrella song.
It's really good.
Yeah. and then also Sakai no Owari, they're not K-pop. That's I guess the umbrella song from Nikun is also not K-pop. But Sakai no Owari came out with Umbrella last year. It was like my top 10 favorite song. It's so good, and they're not a dance group by any means. So like, but you see like an umbrella in the music video and that sort of thing. And then there is Stop the Rain Day 6, but I don't think there's an umbrella ever in that music video, so we can like not say that.
Well,
I'm sure
rain,
there are like
rain
lots
works
of,
too.
yeah, but like I'm sure there are a lot of like others that I'm just like not remembering the umbrella. Did I ever do an
well,
umbrella?
especially because they do often have music, like the videos sort of are like little dramas, right? Or so of course there's going to be times when they use that, like those drama tropes, right?
Yeah. There is one. It wasn't a music video, but it was a performance that 17 did, that they all had, that like it was an umbrella choreo, that they were very creative with their umbrellas, and it's no FUN, so it's like dots between them. It's pretty sick, because 17, like that's their thing, right? They're gonna give you the choreo.
They're gonna give you 13 people being very synchronized doing something really cool.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a good, if you're in it for those umbrella feels, that's what you're gonna get. So
I wish I could remember the third one, because the third one that I had thought of,
you'll never remember. It'll
be really sad if I never ever remember it.
As soon as we stop recording,
you're gonna be like, this one.
No, like at 2 in the morning, I'm gonna like message everybody. I'm gonna be like, guys, it's this song.
I will say I just saw a little thing. It was like, guess that umbrella scene from the K-pop music video.
Classic.
A lot of those games where it is like, guess this tiny screenshot from the
I'm so
K-pop
bad
music.
at it.
I really suck at those, unless it's something like, very
to be honest,
obvious.
I did once get one right we played that game on Road to Hagdom the first week that we did it, and it was a still from a Day 6 from the zombie music video, and there's like a Day 6 like super fan on it, and I got it right, and he didn't. He was like, "I have been shamed."
You know what? The last one that we just did the bands episode, and same thing. There was like a day 6 thing and he just like he's fallen into this, like he's become like a meme in it, where he, if he misses the day 6 answer, he's on a rolly office chair and he like rolls out of the screen, out of the frame.
I did check to make sure it was in there because I like had the memory in my brain. Blackpink, How You Like That. It transitions from Jennie having full black umbrellas up in the ceiling to Jisoo, and it's umbrellas and they're all on fire, raining down.
Oh yeah.
Right.
And I was like, I remember, but do I remember?
But
listen, we told us that we're old. My brain's going.
Yeah.
Like, I say this often, especially to these three. My brain is Swiss cheese. Like, things just pass through the holes and they're gone.
But I'm sure there's dramas and songs. There's probably way more umbrellas than we talked about.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
But these were our favorites and things that we remembered. Always pack an umbrella.
Yeah. If there's one thing that I've learned from K-dramas, is that if the sky's a little cloudy, stick an umbrella in your bag when you leave the house, okay?
Well, it's definitely one of those like life lessons you learn when you like start to actually like have your own car and like you go out.
Like, I remember at one of my jobs, like I would always come in like dressed really appropriately for the weather that would maybe be coming later on in the day, you know? And then, for instance, it would rain and everyone would be like, I wasn't expecting the rain. I'm like, I typically look at the weather before I come in to work.
That's what the forecast is for.
Since I have to, because I would have to walk a ways to get to my building. I'm like, it's just what I do. Like, it's a good, a life lesson. One thing I will say is, in dramas, like the first snow is a big deal, but they don't have that for rain. It's not like it's the first rain.
It just always rains.
It's just always. I was reading that's a really, really common thing in Japan anyway, is that in office buildings they have essentially like umbrella parking in the foyer. Like they just have lots and lots of like
who wants to track
umbrella stands, because
what umbrellas through the office?
You don't want that. You don't want a bunch of people all packed in the elevator with their,
I feel like in a drama or two I've seen like it would be in fancy office building type situations, like the fancy bag, like plastic bag dispenser things that they have. I was like, I've never seen that before. That's really cool.
Oh, they sometimes have them like not the like dispenser ones, but like the grocery ones that are kind of essentially like the produce bags. Like,
yeah.
It reminds me of flower bouquet bags because I get flowers sometimes.
I once had a really cute umbrella that looked like a frog. And I know this sounds like I'm telling a story from when I was 5, but I was in my mid-20s, and it was really cute. And I went out to lunch at a sushi place, and they had like an umbrella stand, and I put my umbrella there because it was raining, and somebody stole my frog umbrella. I was so sad. I was like, I'm like, there were no children here.
So, if you have a favorite umbrella moment in a drama, let us know.
Yeah, we want to hear your umbrella moments. Like, send us a GIF, post a little video clip, give us a little something, do some fan art, something. Now that I'm thinking about it, I did some umbrella themed fan art. From Tale of the Nine Tails, I did an umbrella themed. I just looked over and like the sticker sheet is just sitting like on like a box across my office, and I was like, hey.
Well, look at that.
Yeah, what a weird. Yeah, we want to see it. We want to see your umbrella love. Or if you just have a cute umbrella. Like,
I have a side question. Growing up and all that, did you ever ascribe to the don't open an umbrella inside thing?
Like, people would tell it to me, but I was a very skeptical child, so I was like, it seems sus.
And you would just open it anyway, like...
Be like, let's test this hypothesis.
I just feel like maybe I didn't do it just because there would be no room to, you know?
Yeah,
Right.
like that's what I'm thinking.
I always felt that was the reason behind them saying something, especially
yeah.
to a kid.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
like, just so you don't break stuff, like for sure.
Or poke somebody's eye out or something, you know.
Yeah.
It's
No, I have seen
bad
umbrellas
luck
that
to
can-
like knock mom's tchotchkes off the shelf.
Yeah,
Or,
real
like,
bad luck.
Poke
real
your,
bad
you
luck.
know, best friend in the
So,
eye. Like,
all luck.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
No,
remember that being the thing, because you know when you're a kid and you hear about a superstition or something,
Oh yeah,
it's
for
like
sure.
you always remember it then.
I always like the one where it's like, don't walk under a ladder. And I'm like, you shouldn't be walking under a ladder anyway.
A
like,
lot of
somebody's
these
really
things
why
make
it's there.
sense.
Like, this isn't, it's not, yeah, it's bad luck for the dude on the ladder. Like,
Just as a
Stress.
side note, I just looked it up to see if there was like an actual like historical thing because I felt like there was probably something tied to it. This is a Mental Floss article. It says it suggests that it started around 1200 BCE when the ancient Egyptian priests and royalty were using umbrellas made of peacock feathers and papyrus to shield them from the sun. The superstition might have stemmed from a belief that opening an umbrella indoors away from the sun's rays would anger the sun god Ra and generate negative consequences. Another theory involves a different ancient Egyptian deity, Nut, goddess of the sky. These early umbrellas were crafted to mirror and honor the way she protected the earth, so their shade was considered sacred. If anybody with non-noble blood used one, that person supposedly became a walking, talking beacon of bad luck.
Huh.
Yeah, and then it says that it's like
You
most
know,
of the
that
time
seems
now
like
it's just
a-
like
that seems
don't
like a
hurt
real convenient way to get peasants not to enjoy some
To
shit.
touch your umbrella.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest, like a lot of times that's what it
Yeah,
comes
Yep.
down to.
Yeah, convenient.
It's always convenient to make the peasant not touch your umbrella. Very, very convenient.
Well, yeah.
Anyway, this has been a really, like, I know this seems like a really odd topic, but I think it was a lot of fun. And, you know, umbrellas and rain is, you know, it's a trope that, you know, when you've watched enough, like, it's a universal thing, right? Who doesn't, like, it's a good way to move a romance plot along or a crime plot, depending on what you're watching. Murder or romance, pick your poison. Anyway, thank you for listening to the Certified Nunas. We love all our listeners, and we have a special place in our heart for our found family, which are the listeners who are over there on our Patreon, which is patreon.com/certifiednunas. We will be having our first event soon for patrons, which is we're going to have a movie night soon. So I will be, you know, we're going to post the movies and people can vote on them, and we're going to have like a little watch party. It's going to be really fun. Anyway, so if you want to get a hold of that and be part of that good times, join our found family over there on Certified Nunas, the Certified Nunas fan family, patreon.com/certified Nunas. We love all of our fan family, and they really keep everything going, and you're the best. If you want to listen to us again or somewhere else, we're pretty much everywhere podcasts can be found. But if you want links to everything that we talked about, you got to go to certifiednunas.com, where all the time codes and links and everything are all laid out beautifully for you. We got a Facebook, we got a Twitter, we got an Instagram. Those are the three that like we really are present upon. And we got a Spotify. We got some playlists over there for all y'all. It's good times. So check us out. We really love hearing from our listeners. So you can hit us up on the old Twitter, and please send us, you know, your favorite umbrella moments, or if you just have a cute umbrella that you want to show off, just, you know, tag us. Like, we're cool. We love that sort of stuff. Anyway, we hope you have a fantastic and safe week, and keep enjoying Asian entertainment. Bye!
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.